we are actually going to walk you through our process to be able to onboard someone to the team. We're not just talking about bringing them onto the team. We're talking about making sure all of their documents get taken care of. We're talking about making sure all of their system setup is all done. We're talking about making sure the agent experience is what we promised when we had the first conversation all the way through. This sets the standard for agents being able to join our team. But not only that, we have a team within itself. We have people like Ruben, who's our operations manager, and his job is to help design and make everything easier, not only for the agent, but for us involved. And then we also have a onboarding director as well. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to my partner, my friend, Ruben. And Ruben's going to walk us through what happens when an agent joins Power Real Estate Group.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it, and a pleasure to meet you all. This call has been amazing, first off. So we're going to kind of fly through it just because of the time constraints. Let's kind of go into it, right? So first, actually, let me kind of just go back. I kind of want to touch on what Barry was talking about. Josh, Justin, everybody's been talking about processes, mapping it out, knowing your SOPs. I think that's really the biggest key takeaway. Like, if you guys take anything away, it's know your process. Build that process that you know works for you, and people are going to come, right? So this is kind of the approach that I like to take when I'm designing a process for us here at Power Real Estate Group. And so I'm going to give you guys like a super macro level of what this looks like, right? So we kind of think about three different people, right? There's three people involved in recruiting and onboarding, right? So the first one is the recruiter / the team lead. So for them, what they're responsible for doing is creating the agent profile on our CRM, which is Follow Up Boss, right? And including the necessary information that we need, right? So their name, email, phone number, sponsor information. And then kind of like what Barry was talking about, where he has stages in a linear fashion, that's exactly what I've designed as well. So our stages are super linear. So it's like a recruiting lead, recruiting appointment set, recruiting appointment met, recruiting applied. So we have all of our stages super linear, one, because it's really simple to remember. Like, we know what the process looks like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have those exact same stages set up in a linear fashion. So it removes the thought process from it. So from there, once they create their profile, they trigger an automation by updating the stage. So for me, I was like, great, at what stage is this agent ready to apply? Right. So at that point, it's if they've met with a recruit and they're ready to go, we have a stage for that. Right. So they're going to trigger an automation that's going to send the agent out an email to start signing up. And then they're also communicating with the recruit a high level overview of what the onboarding process looks like. So they're going to trigger the automation to tag in my team, my onboarding specialist. They're going to create the profile, and they're also going to say, hey, this is what you're going to expect. So then from there,
and this is all happening, not to cut you, Ruben, but this is all happening in Follow Up Boss. This is, we're following the system of this. If an agent met a client at Ralph's or at a grocery store, how would they put them into the Follow Up Boss system and how they would flow from there, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. If you really think about it, right, like in general, it's all the same. It's really just a sales process, right? So it's if you find out what your process looks like for sales, you know what your recruiting process looks like for an agent. It's just different names at this point. Marit, so the stages are basically the same as with real estate leads. So after this, my onboarding specialist gets tagged in. They're going to contact the recruit, and they're going to walk them through the application. So our goal with this is and we talked about customer service experience, right? For your agents, we want to create a really good experience for our agents coming in, right? It's like a first impression in a relationship, right? The first person to contact them, we want them to basically hold their hand and be like, cool, come with me. I got you. I'm going to walk you through this whole process. Don't even worry about it. So they're going to walk them through the application process. Once they're done with that, they're going to set up all their systems. They're going to create their team emails. They're going to invite them to the tech stack. And what we mean by set up the systems is not just shoot out the invites. Like, we are going to log in and we are going to set up the settings. We're going to add their headshots. We're going to add their email signatures. We're going to make sure notifications are on. Like, we are going to make sure that they don't have to do a single thing other than to just log in. They're going to follow up with communication, update the CRM stages and any rosters, any spreadsheets, and they're just going to make sure that the process is being completed as well.
Control your controllables.
Exactly. And the last person, obviously the most important person, is the agent. So what do they need to do here? All they need to do is have a computer, a notepad, and show up with winning attitude. They just got to show up, really. And at this point, like, we are handling everything for them, and we're pretty much giving them access to all of their systems on a silver platter. So the idea is make it as easy as possible for them and just say, here's your stuff. Let me show you how to log into it. So I kind of want to show you guys, like I kind of want to build one with you guys. So just a really simple like onboarding form. So this is like a simplified version of what we have currently. So I kind of want to show you guys this. So I kind of did a little bit of work beforehand. So we use something called JotForm, and I love JotForm. I used to use Google Forms before, but it's just really limited in its functionality and automation potential. So I love JotForm, and this is what we use for our team application. Now, our brokerage and other brokerages like EXP, they have their own application forms. It is what it is. But for us as a team, or if you guys are your own brokerages, I would recommend something like this. Just it's cost effective, but it's also extremely versatile in what you can build. So let me kind of show you guys here real quick. So I kind of branded this one for RACC, but essentially I've got basic information that I want to collect from an agent here. So obviously I need their name, email, phone number. Are they a licensed realtor? And this might sound goofy, but sometimes we get agents who are not licensed wanting to join a real estate office to join us. And we kind of, we just got to be sure, you know. But this one, you can build in conditions. So if you notice, these next few questions here are kind of grayed out. These are hidden. So, and I'll show you guys here in a preview, but based off of the answer, I have conditional logic built into the back end to pop these up. I want to get a headshot because part of something that we provide the agents is what's called a welcome package. We design an email signature, business card design, cover sheet, stuff like that. So we need their headshot.
And if they don't have a headshot, every Tuesday at our office, you can sign up, and it's all agents, whether you're at Power or not. We allow agents to come in because we remembered what it costs to be an agent and how expensive it is to begin the process. They're welcome to come in and get a headshot done free of charge. Like, it's just 1 hour that our media team does to give back. So,
yeah, absolutely. And even then, right, if they don't have a professional headshot, we just kind of tell them like, hey, just upload some random file here. And our design team already knows to just kind of put like a placeholder. We still complete that design kit because it's kind of like, hey, here it is, but it would look much better with your face on it. So we still give them the headshot, but just with like a cartoon face. I'm also getting emergency contacts because you never know, right? And then at the end here, we have a team agreement. And so I kind of have a placeholder here, and I want to show you guys how I have embedded a team agreement signature into JotForm here. So JotForm has a signature like processing, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So what we use is DocuSign Power Forms. So I'm just going to go through this real quick. And if you don't know what DocuSign Power Forms is instead of each individually sending out a signature request, you can create a link where people can click and sign your agreement, right? So let me kind of just go through this real quick. I know we're kind of short on time. So I've already kind of worked ahead. I created my template for this test team agreement. So this is just a generic agreement that I have. So I've created this template. I just have to add it to a Power Form. And take me a little second here. I'm going to create my Power Form. And so just like that, it's giving me links, an embed link and a URL link. So I'm going to copy this. And in here, I'm going to do an iframe embed the JotForm directly into here. So that way they don't have to go anywhere. So as you can see, I kind of pasted the link in there. And here I've got my Power Form directly in here. So I kind of don't really like the height. So I'm going to just change that real quick to 700. Delete that placeholder. And so just like that, I'm going to show you guys a preview of this. So obviously everything is required. If I hit yes to licensed realtor, the logic pulls up. Let me just kind of pre-fill this here real quick. I hit no, just so I can show you guys the functionality of the JotForm, contact info. And so here's the team agreement. So essentially what happens is now I don't have to, or an onboarding specialist doesn't have to be there and say, cool, I need your email. Let me go in there and send it out. No. Here, we're basically saying fill in your name, fill in your email. And so at this point, right, we still have an onboarding specialist walking them through this, but it's much easier. So then they hit begin signing, and the DocuSign template is going to load up here eventually. Unless I got booted out of this again. There it is. And so you can see it might be a little small, but it's already pre-filled my name and address. And like I said, this is just a generic agreement I pulled off of Google. They sign directly from here and they can hit finish. And you can't see it, but I've got DocuSign tied to my Slack, so I'm getting notifications for this. And then they hit submit, and then we can collect that data on the back end.
I just got a Slack message, new agent alert.
Mm-hmm.
Ruben Aguilar is the team.
And so just in the interest of time, I'm not going to actually go through these next couple steps, but I just want to show you guys a couple other things that I love to do here is I like to go into the integrations tab that JotForm has and pull all of this data into two different spots. I like to pull it into a Google Sheet. You can create a new sheet, connect your account, and from there specify what information from the form you want to pull in, generally everything. I like to get the submission date as well. And essentially what happens is once you hit save, it's going to automatically create a Google Sheet for you. And it's giving me the link here. So if I were to click on this, it's essentially keeping all submissions on a spreadsheet automatically for me. It's going to fill it in. So essentially I've created a roster for myself. So essentially now I have a roster that's always going to be updated on submissions. And I like to take it one step further. Go to a Google Drive. I'm going to create a Google Drive folder automatically. I want to do a subfolder for each submission, and I'll have this be created for the person's name. I want any submissions to be uploaded as a PDF and any uploaded files to also be uploaded. So now I can have a folder in Google Drive automatically created for each agent with anything that I ask them to upload, like their headshots or a driver's license or a copy of their DRE license, whatever it is that you guys want, and they upload it to JotForm, you can automatically store it and organize it in Google Drive. So that way you have a storage base for it. So now you've got your roster, you've got your Google Drive with all your documents, and you have your agents having a good experience, like everything's going smoothly. And so this is just this at like a very, very basic level, just on JotForm. We could take it even a step further and start automating emails through Zapier, tying in the rest of the team, connecting it to Slack. I love Zapier, so I connect it through Slack to notify the admin team, send out emails to my VAs, my onboarding specialists to start kicking off their SOPs, notify Jeff. Yep.
Everybody gets notified instantaneously. Every single department, everybody gets notified. It just rolls all the way through.
Just super, super high level. I know we got a couple more minutes. So just super high level of the Zap that I have here. This one's a new agent form to the design team, folder creation, update public. This one does a lot. But you see my trigger is a new form submission. I'll kind of zoom in, it looks smaller here. I'm having AI analyze some data. I'm creating a row in my roster. I'm finding a folder. I'm emailing our design team. And this is a HTML email, or actually it's just basic text. I'm emailing our onboarding team at Real. I have a database. I'm creating deals in FUB. I'm adding tags to their contact. I'm changing their stage. I'm adding dates. I'm messaging us on Slack and emailing my onboarding team on Gmail. So essentially what my onboarding specialist is doing is just saying, hey, let me walk you through the application. If you have questions on this, I'll answer. And once they hit submit, a majority of that tedious tasks are being done. And so now all my onboarding specialist has to do is go to that FUB contact and just ensure that the automation kicked off properly and update anything if it needs to get done. From there, they have their own SOP to run. Now they got to go and set up their systems and schedule that date and get all that tedious work done. Trust me, I've tried to look into creating all those systems automatically. It's a little tough. But yeah, so that's what a basic overview of what my onboarding process looks like. And then this one's my full live Zap that I'm using currently. So kind of going back to like what we talk about, right? Let me just kind of put this back in the full screen here. We're always here to help out, right? Like we've tested this process hundreds of times. Like I think this year so far, January and February, we've onboarded about 25 agents, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. Like there's a lot more people that are coming into our pipeline. So our method is tried and true, and it's used. And it's funny because Jeff was like, hey, is your process ready? I'm like, Jeff, it's used every single day. Like it's ready. Like it's going.
Your phone, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are ever going to build your onboarding process, or you don't have one and you kind of want to bounce some ideas off of, please hit us up. Jeff and I, I've been working on this. This is my baby, for years at this point. And, so if you guys ever have any questions, you're trying to build something out, you just need some advice. Our info's on here. You guys can scan the QR code. It's got all of our contact information for each one of us. And we're here to help out, just bounce some ideas off of. Lisa's always on my calendar being like, hey, this is what I got, what you got. And so we're literally just bouncing ideas off of each other and comparing processes. But yeah, like you said in the chat, I think it was Meg, it's good to see you, Meg. Processes, it's all processes. You got to find out your process, find it out, write it down, and say, great, here's what it is. Now let me build around it. Let me design a system for it and then test it.
And for the sake of time, we did have to cut out a lot of slides and move a little bit faster, but that is just literally the first iteration of what we do. Like I said, every single person in every single department is able to get a person coming in. We have multiple offices. It notifies the office leaders and the team leads within each office. Everything is broken down just by these simple steps. Prioritize and systemize your process, and then make it easy for everybody. Ruben knows what he needs to do when he's in the game and when he's out the game. Our Giselle, who's our onboarding specialist, knows that when she comes in and how she comes in, what she needs to do and how to pass somebody on. That way, within 24 hours, an agent can go right into training and start to begin the process of going over to some of the things that Dale was talking about, getting them right coaching and the right processes going. That way they can be a brand new agent getting their license today, should be able to get into escrow within the next 45 to 60 days. And that's important. The quicker that we can give them results that they are looking for, that we promised, as long as they follow the steps that we provided and outlined, then they will stay, they will retain, and people leave you when they run out of opportunity with you. So continue to build step-by-step processes for them, to whether they want to be a team lead or whether they want to go and sell 110 houses in 1 year. Create it for them. Sorry, that was a lot. That was quick. Hope this was helpful.